All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling something that honestly catches a lot of guys completely off guard: the connection between testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, and fertility. Now, you get on TRT to feel better, right? To get your energy back, your drive, your strength. But what if that very thing could get in the way of starting a family?
It's a huge paradox, isn't it? How can adding more of the ultimate male hormone actually shut down the system you need to have kids? It just doesn't seem to make sense. But, the biology behind it is incredibly clear, and understanding it is really the first step to making sure you're in control.
So here's the bottom line. Taking testosterone can and very often does bring sperm production to a screeching halt. But, and this is a really big but, it absolutely doesn't have to be a dead end for fatherhood. We now have some powerful, science-backed ways to both protect your fertility while you're on TRT and to kickstart it again if it's already been suppressed.
So to really get a handle on the solutions, we first have to dig into the problem. Let's break down the biology of this shutdown signal that TRT sends through your body.
It all comes down to something called the HPG axis. Now, the easiest way to think about this is like a smart thermostat in your house that controls your hormones. Your brain is constantly checking your testosterone levels, and when they get low, it sends a signal down to the testes saying, hey, we need more. It's this perfect little feedback loop that keeps everything in balance.
So what happens when you start TRT? Well, you're basically putting a giant space heater right next to that thermostat. Your brain feels all this external testosterone flooding the system and it thinks, whoa, it is way too hot in here. We're good. And so it shuts down the furnace. It stops sending out those critical signals, LH and FSH, that tell the testes what to do. And without those orders from headquarters, the testes just go quiet.
And this, right here, is the most crucial part to understand. While your testosterone levels in your blood look great, because of the TRT, the testosterone level inside the testes absolutely plummets. See, for sperm production to happen, you need a crazy high concentration of testosterone right there at the source. We're talking like 100 times higher than what's in your blood. And without the brain's signals, that internal testosterone can drop by a massive 94%. And this is what that looks like in the real world. Without that high local testosterone, the factory just shuts down. For some guys, we see zero sperm in as little as 10 weeks. Within 6 months, that number jumps to about 2/3 of men on TRT. And for a small but significant group, maybe up to 10%, that infertility could even be permanent. This is exactly why just jumping on TRT without thinking about fertility is a huge gamble. But here's the good news. It totally doesn't have to be that way. We have modern protocols that let us keep that factory running. So let's talk about the first solution: preservation. This is all about protecting your fertility right from the get-go. And the hero in this part of the story is a hormone called HCG. So HCG is basically a mimic. It looks a whole lot like LH, which is that natural on signal from the brain. What it does is it bypasses the brain's shutdown signal entirely and goes straight to the testes and tells them, hey, wake up, keep doing your job, keep making that internal testosterone, and keep the sperm production line moving. And we have the hard data to prove just how well this works. This is from a landmark study. Look at this. On TRT with just a placebo, that internal testosterone drops by 94%. But add in a small dose of HCG, just 250 IUs every other day, and that drop is only 7%. That's almost complete preservation. And if you go up to 500 IUs, you actually boost your internal testosterone levels by 26%. It's amazing.
And this isn't just a theory or some numbers on a chart. Real-world research followed men on TRT plus HCG for a whole year. And the result? Their semen parameters, sperm count, motility, they stayed stable. None of them ended up with zero sperm. This proves that adding HCG isn't just protecting a lab value, it's protecting actual, real-world fertility.
Okay, that's great for prevention. But what if you're already on TRT and, your fertility has probably taken a hit? Is it too late? Nope, absolutely not. So let's get into our second solution, the reboot protocol. This is all about restarting the system.
First off, it's good to know that for most guys, the body is pretty resilient. It can often recover all on its own after you stop TRT. About 2/3 of men will see sperm return within 6 months, and by a year, that's up to 90%. But that can feel like a really long and uncertain time to wait, especially if you're older or you've been on TRT for a long time.
The thing is, just waiting around isn't your only play. We can be way more proactive.
And this is where things get really, really interesting, thanks to some brand new research that just came out in 2024 that is completely flipping the script on how we approach fertility recovery.
For so long, the standard advice was simple. If you want your fertility back, you have to stop TRT. Period. But this incredible 2024 study from the Baylor College of Medicine just blew that old idea out of the water. They found that there was basically no difference in recovery rates between the guys who stopped testosterone and the guys who actually stayed on it.
The study used what they called a reboot therapy. It's a combination of HCG and another key hormone, FSH, that directly tells the body to make sperm. And look at these results. They're identical. 74% of men saw their sperm counts improve whether they came off their testosterone or stayed on it. This is a total game changer. It means you might not have to choose between feeling great on TRT and your dream of starting a family.
Okay, so we've got all this great information. We know we can preserve fertility, and we know we can recover it. So how do you put all of this together into a plan that works for you? Well, it's really about taking control and making sure your treatment lines up with your life goals.
This little table really simplifies the main choices. You've got TRT by itself, great for testosterone, bad for fertility. Then you have something like clomiphene, which gives a more moderate T boost but actually helps fertility. And then you have the combo we've been talking about, TRT plus HGC. This gives you that high testosterone boost while keeping your fertility neutral. It's all about weighing the trade-offs, right? So here it is, a simple 4-step game plan to talk over with your doctor. Number 1, just be upfront about your family plans from day 1. 2, get a baseline semen analysis. You got to know your starting point. 3, think about sperm banking. Honestly, it's the ultimate insurance policy. And finally, number 4, pick the right protocol for you, either preservation from the start or a recovery plan if you need it.
So the biggest thing to take away from all this is that the old idea that you have to choose between TRT and fertility is just, it's outdated. It's wrong. The options to manage both are here, they're backed by solid science, and they work. The power is really in your hands now to have that smart, informed conversation with your doctor and make the choice that is right for you and your future. Thanks for tuning in.